What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. We are here on F1 22 for some more exclusive gameplay of the brand new Formula 1 game, and we're going to be doing a 100% race around Australia today. The updated layout, and we're going to be showing off the updated layout of Melbourne and little features like that. We're going to be doing the race in Sebastian Vettel's Aston Martin. Starting from 16th, we've just fired in with a random grid, and we're starting 16th on the grid. Also thanks to EA and Codemasters for giving me early access to the game as well. Big shout out to them. Obviously these videos wouldn't be possible without them, which is fantastic, so I really appreciate that, guys. And as you can see, we've started the Grand Prix here. Not had the greatest to start actually. We were quite consistent on the revs, but then the initial launch was just horrible, to be honest, and I remember it really happened, and we've dropped down to 17th. We've got Latifi side by side with us, near enough contact with the Alfa Romeo in front of us as well. Had to slow down a little bit. We're now sending a dive down inside of Bottas and Ricciardo, but we just couldn't get the traction out of the corner to get the double overtake done, and we're just sitting behind the two cars right now. But yeah, I'm just going to get a feel to the track as well, because throughout this video you're also going to see me progress with how I am with the track, because I actually, right now, as you're watching this video, this is the first lap I've actually done around the new layout. Now, I have driven Australia many times on previous F1 games, but not with the new cars and the new layout. And as you can see there, it was very close contact at the start, and we've actually had to hand back a position to Ricciardo because we overtook him just as the virtual safety car came out. But as soon as it ends, we're round outside of Ricciardo and back ahead of him into 15th place. And as you can see there, a few cars coming into the pit lane at the end of the first lap, just for front wing damage as well, which is quite common on this game because the damage model is a lot more extreme compared to previous F1 games. And I'm looking forward to seeing what extreme damage mods will look like on this game once the modders get to their bit later into the year. And then we're skipping on to lap 3 here. Close contact with Bottas and Tsunoda. We're right up the back of Tsunoda. We've passed Bottas, very close to Tsunoda there, and we've made the move up to 12th place. Now we're on the soft tyres. We're going to try and make a one-stop work, and look at that, Kevin Magnussen making a mistake at the last corner into the wall. Now I have to say, it's very nice to seeing AI making little stupid mistakes like that, because it definitely does shape up the race and makes things a lot more interesting compared to just being pretty much the same thing all the time, nobody making mistakes and shots like that. And we almost made contact with Tsunoda, and we've dummied him there. Into the next corner we go, and we've made the move up to P10. He's got front wing damage as well, so he was coming into the pits at the end of that lap. And skipping on to lap 7 here, we're side by side with Guan Yu Zhou, going to make the late dive on him there, round outside, late on the brakes, and that's a job done for us. He also was struggling with his tyres, and so is Russell ahead. As you can see, a lot of cars were heavily struggling, just like us there, out of the first corner, nearly losing the rear end as our tyres start to fade away after the first 10 laps. And surprisingly, our pace was actually not too bad. Now this is 110% AI, if anyone's wondering as well. Probably doesn't look it right now actually, with me passing a Mercedes, Aston Martin passing Mercedes, but as the race went on, I was obviously getting to grips with the track, and the AI were really struggling with their tyres. And as we came on to lap 12, the front runners did start to make their first pit stops, such as Perez and stuff, and he's just came out ahead of us there, and we're just going to try and follow him and get the DRS, because the drivers behind us, such as Schumacher, the ones we're racing, have came into the pit lane, just like us at the end of lap 12 there, following Fernando Alonso into the pits to make our first stop, and only stop actually. Be surprised to hear that off this race. Now all the AI cars, they're all seeming to go for softs again, or I think most of the field have went for softs, and it seems like an estimated 3-stop race. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and do an Alexander Albon, but just the complete opposite way. We're going to pretty much go to the end of the Grand Prix on these set of hards and try and make them work. Now our pace is not going to be the best, because obviously Aston Martin, the car is very hard to drive. I have found it out as I was driving along the laps around this track, and we just have to extend their stint. If the AI head's going to make 2 to 3 more stops possibly, then all we need to do is just be consistent on our pace and hopefully just get to the end on the tyres, and we should be in a really good position. As you can see, George Russell was passing us there, and Max Verstappen, he had a bit of a shocker at the early stages of the Grand Prix actually. He lost his front wing and he came into the pits, and he actually made a mistake there behind us, and it's not really doing any good for his race, isn't it? But yeah, we skip on to lap 23 here. We're currently sitting in P7, now P8, because Mick Schumacher is about to make a move on us. Now this is crucial for our race as well, because we're racing the Hasses, and Schumacher has to pit maybe 2 more times from where he is now. So we really just need to try and keep him behind and really wear his tyres quite a bit. Now obviously we don't want to affect our race as well with our tyres, but we know the hards are very long lasting and they will get to the end. We have a fantastic battle with Schumacher here, and as you can see, Verstappen from his mistake is caught up, and we're so close here as we go along the long straight here in Melbourne, the new layout, and Verstappen stuck behind Schumacher. We're going to get the toe off Schumacher once again, going to the inside, trying to get the position back as we head into the quick left and right hander here. Now obviously these corners have been flat in the past, not in the 2022 cars, a lot more harder, and you have to take them a little more easier now, especially with the fuel loads and how the car handles. And Verstappen there down inside making the move, getting past Mick Schumacher, and not long after that Verstappen actually did make another mistake. And I didn't get that on the recording, unfortunately, but he did make another mistake, and George Russell has actually caught up once again. He pitted, and he's made a few mistakes as well in this Grand Prix. He's charging at us just like Mick Schumacher again. We've held him off for 5 or so laps now, which we've done our race wonders there. George Russell trying to make a move on us. Now eventually we just had to give up and give Schumacher the place in the end because it was too much for our tyres, and we wanted to get to the end. And the time we finished battling, Mick was back in the pits as well. So this is going to be them to the end of the Grand Prix. Now I have obviously cut out a few of the pit stops because not much has been happening in this Grand Prix. We've just been driving along and trying to look after our tyres and be consistent with our pace. And as you can see here, Max Verstappen making his final stop of the Grand Prix onto the medium tyres, has shot past us there. There was no point in fighting for that position because we know the Red Bull car is a lot quicker than the Aston Martin. And at this stage of the Grand Prix, I'm not really hoping for a safety car because as the Grand Prix went on, our pace was very consistent, and I believe we were lapping in the 23 6s, 5s, and then eventually we started to get down to the low 23s, and then Mick I was keeping an eye on the gap to Mick because obviously Mick is the one we were racing, and the gap just wasn't coming down too much, so it was very promising. And as you can see here, George Russell with 11 laps to go shooting past us, and we sit now in P8. So the gap to Schumacher is 6.6 seconds with 11 laps to go, and as we skip on to the final lap of the Grand Prix, as you can see, Schumacher's gap to us is 4 seconds. So the strategy that we've done, we've somehow worked a miracle here, and we've done a one stop. We've pitted on lap 13 of this race, or 12 I believe, and we went right to the end on the hard compound tyres. And as you can see as well, we are on a flying lap here. We've actually set a purple second sector, which is very good for us because we've saved up all our hours of deployment for the final lap and just see what we can get out of this Aston Martin and just push the hell out of it pretty much. We're on 60% tyre wear, but you've got to remember that's a 45 lap stint we've pretty much done on the hard compound tyres, which is pretty insane actually, and they are very consistent. So if you're wanting to try some crazy strategies around Australia, if you're in a slower car on career mode and such, you could really try the one stop, because from what I've driven here, the AI were doing 3 stops, and I believe a few other drivers also went for a 4 stop as well, which is quite unheard of actually, but it's quite good because the more stops the more interest in the races, and there wasn't even a safety car actually, so that makes it even better. And as you can see there, we've obviously won the Grand Prix, Sebastian Vettel and the Aston Martin, which is now red, so that's very nice. If only lads, if only Seb was in Ferrari again. I know it's painful being a Vettel fan sometimes, you know, but we move. But yeah, it was we got to grips with the car, got to grips with the track. It does take time to get used to these 2022 cars, not gonna lie, when you do get this game. I struggled to start with as well when I first got hands on the game and just getting used to the cars in general, but it takes time and you will get there. Obviously with a slower car as well, it's a lot harder to get used to, and when you just jump on the new track for the first time as well, it doesn't help, but you learn as the race goes on. But yeah, very good result for us. 121.8 there, very competitive with Max. Like Max did a 21.6, so we're on pace with some of the front runners there as well, which was very surprising actually. But yeah, the updated track is very nice. Most of the updated tracks are very nice as well. I'm glad Codemasters and EA, they've worked together and they've done that this year, because for a few years now we've had a few tracks, obviously if we take away Melbourne and Australia and Spain, just some other tracks in general have just not been updated to how it is in real life, you know, certain little curbs, sausage curbs, little bits and pieces like that. But it's very good because the tracks definitely look a lot more modern to how it is now. And another thing I've noticed as well on this game is, obviously you guys probably don't notice these sort of things, but because I do my recreations, I've noticed pretty much everything, because replays are like wonders to the main thing of my recreations actually. We've got more realistic cameras as well, like for all the tracks. I studied in Baku and certain other tracks as well. The cameras are literally exactly the same as how they were in real life. It would just make the recreations look so much nicer to what they are right now. But yeah guys, that's that. We've done a 100% race around Australia, 50 laps. 75% of that, or even 90% of that race was done on the hards. But yeah, it was a very intense race, just keeping it consistent and got to keep the pace up. If you get the chance, definitely jump on to the brand new Melbourne layout, because it is a very fun layout compared to the old one. A lot more overtaking opportunities and such as well. But yeah guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Now this is going to be the last exclusive gameplay I'm going to be releasing before June 28th. So from June 28th, that's when content will be firing out. I'll get all sorts of stuff out for you guys, all different sorts of content, in-depth analysis and certain tracks and comparisons. We've got all that planned, so exciting content, exciting times for F1 content coming soon, even in the next week or so. It's coming in very quickly. So guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button to see that. I've got so much content planned for you guys throughout the summer, and I hope you're looking forward to that. So yeah guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Take care now, and I'll catch you guys next time.